Hey all, you with Bad Apple and 40 Fine, the producer extraordinaire.
Greetings.
And that's 40 Fine with a hyphen because that's the way he rolls. He's kind of like a Karen nowadays.
No, I'm not a Karen.
Oh, I don't know about that. You sure you're not a Karen?
Mm-mm. Fuck Karen.
Don't fuck a Karen because I'll have to kill you if you're fucking someone named Karen. FYI, she doesn't want to roll past me. You come home smelling like a Karen perfume, we're gonna have issues. So with us today, we are very lucky to be joined by 40 Fine's former assistant. So Miss Assistant, you worked with the 40 Fine in his element. How was that?
Yeah. That was awesome, and I miss it. And, one day when the world maybe goes back to normal and my kids are a little bit older, I may be able to, function as an adult with the rest of society.
Yeah, because you had to leave to go and homeschool, right?
Yes. When school ended, it was pretty much stay home and educate my kids. And now that school is, quote unquote, back up and running, let's see how long that lasts, So I decided to homeschool my kids. So that's what I'm going to do, and just take a little break from working, see what happens.
Oh, well, good luck with that. I know if I homeschooled my kids, they would probably, I don't know, I probably would have killed them in a science experiment or something.
Well, it's all good in theory. I have the plan, but talk to me in a month.
Yeah, when you're pulling your hair out of your head because you haven't left your children's side.
Right.
I just can't imagine being... I'm not that mom, though. I'm not that mom. I love my children. I was blessed with two amazing kids, but I am not that mom that was like the soccer mom cheering on the sidelines. I was the one that was going, hey, my kid's going to kill your kid. I wasn't cheering. I was just like, my kid's gonna have to kill your kid if they do that again. FYI, sorry to say it, but we're probably gonna end up in court.
Oh, well, you know what? I feel like at this point it's kind of almost a good thing to homeschool right now, because some of the shit that my husband says, I'm like, you cannot say that in front of them. They're gonna repeat that to their friends at school. They're gonna say that to their teacher. And he's like, oh yeah, forgot about that. Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, you don't have to worry. But, my daughter, my favorite things about my daughter, kids are the best truth tellers in the world.
Right.
You want truth, you talk to a drunk person or kid. Those are the only two people in the world that tell truth faithfully. Or yoga pants,
right.
They always tell the truth. Yoga pants tell the truth. My daughter,
right.
Somebody had said, fuck in front of her, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And my daughter's like, have you met my mom? Because if you've met my mom, you wouldn't apologize for saying fuck, because that's the least of our problems. I was like, wow, thanks so much, love.
Right. No, I mean, he has no filter, and he'll just say stuff. They'll be fighting or doing whatever, just acting out, and he'll be like, if you don't like what your sister's doing, punch her in the face. And I'm like, oh my God, you cannot tell them that. They're going to start punching other kids in the face.
They do, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens. My 13-year-old got suspended for punching a kid in the face twice.
Holy crap.
I was like, I have a son that is 6'2", and when he was in high school, he was about 250, 260 pounds. Never worried about him. Not one day did I worry about that kid. He made it through school, never got in trouble. He was always the kid that would pick the smallest kid in class to be friends with and protect them. He had the biggest heart. And then came my daughter. Yeah. And my daughter, no, she just decided, I'm going to do things a different way. I'm going to just make my own way, and if you don't say something I like, I'm going to punch you in the face. And
oh my God, yeah. Well,
that's what happens.
My first one is just, she's sweet as pie. She's laid back. She's calm. But my number two, same thing, just takes matters into her own hands, and watch out, world, because she is fierce. It's intense.
but that's good. You know, fierce is good. I love the fierce. My daughter is fierce. She's going to be 18, and watch out, world, because she is coming, and she's going to take over. She is taking over.
Oh, so how old are your kids?
22 and 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, mine are 6, and my little one's going to be 4 in 2 days, and it's just, I mean, it's crazy. Like, you learn, well, you know, your kids are grown now, but you learn so much as a parent that I think that the biggest thing people realize once they're a parent is that they just don't want to deal, well, at least me anyways, I just don't want to deal with other parents.
Oh, no, other parents suck.
Like, yeah. You know, if you want your kid to come over and play with my kid, that's great. But, like, I don't really want to hang out with you and our kids at the park because I don't want to hang out with you.
Exactly. We're not going to go get chai tea together.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. I'm not going to Pilates class with you later. It's not going to happen. We're not doing a paint night together. Our kids are friends. We are not.
Right.
That's a hard one to get past them.
I mean, they're kind of starting to get out of that phase because when they're little, like, you can't just dump your kids off somewhere at somebody's house and, like, you know, and same thing for other people.
Oh, geez, I did it all wrong. No, just
well,
kidding.
I don't know. Maybe you did it all right.
I don't know. My son's the weed whisperer, so maybe.
Oh, my God. Well, we're kind of getting out of that stage, so I feel like I can just tell people, yeah, you know, like, drop your kids off, you can play for a while, I'll come back in a couple hours, because, yeah, I have other shit to do, too. Like, I'm not going to just sit around all day here and bullshit with you about nothing, because I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yeah, well, you know, they want to talk about the latest, greatest gel nail polish that they got.
Right.
And
or even, like, the mom circle that talks about other moms and families and, like, constantly, like, critiques and criticizes. And I'm like, you know what? You're not doing it fucking right either. Nobody is. None of us are.
But the thing that kills me about those mothers are the mothers that are telling their kids not to bully other kids. They're bullying other parents.
Yes, and it's like you're sitting here and you're talking shit about somebody else's mom or the way, you know, they're parenting. And it's like, that's a great example because, like, I don't give a fuck what they're doing. I just do what I do. And, you know, I always tell people, like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You know, we're
if
human. We have an opinion. But I don't judge people because there is a judge, and one day you'll meet that judge, but it ain't me.
Right.
It ain't. So you do your thing, and, you know, everybody's got their own way, and that's how I go about my day, you know?
Yeah. Nope, that's the way, you know, it's the way to do it. I did make friends with some of my kids' friends' parents, and I am actually, I am still friends with one of my son's friends' parents that I met when my son was in kindergarten. And
yeah,
I'm still friends with her today, which is great, but she is one of the very few. And we have very different polar opposite views in life, and it's okay. We're still friends. Well, and
I feel like those people are out there, and they're just few and far between. You know, like
few and far between.
And if you find one, I think you're lucky. And there's probably like one, maybe two. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't really think I've found that person yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. Homeschooling is difficult to, you know. That is a difficult process with, especially, they do the homeschooling field trips and stuff, though, don't they?
Yes, there's actually a couple different websites where, you know, homeschoolers kind of, I guess, blog or whatever you will, and they go different places and do different things. And actually, the other day I was researching a bit and, like, you know, best places to do homeschool field trips, and, you know, depending on where you are, half of these places are freaking closed because of COVID. So It's like, I guess we're just going to make up our own field trip.
You know.
You know.
But we're lucky because we have the Maine coast. Isn't very far from us. So you can see some amazing things on the Maine coast, especially if you go to Algonquin. But that's neither here nor there. But you can go into the tide pools, and that stuff's all cool. So that we're lucky, and then we have the mountains. So you have the best of both worlds up here with homeschooling. And then Boston's not far.
Yeah.
You have the Museum of Science. You have the aquarium.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some cool things. I think it's going to be a good year. I'm excited about it. At this point, everything I do is like, this is what we're doing this year. We'll reevaluate next year.
There you go.
And then, take a little bit at a time.
So. What do the kids think of when they see people with masks? The whole COVID thing.
My older one is she just everything that she sees that's different. Like the other night, we went out for dinner, and we got in the restaurant, had our mask on to go sit to our table, and we sat in a booth rather. We sat in a booth, and behind us was another booth, and there was a big piece of plexiglass in between the booths. And my older daughter said, "Mom, what's that for?" Or said, "What's that mirror for?" I said, "Well, it's not a mirror. It's just like a piece of plastic." And she said, "Oh, is it for coronavirus?" Like, she's 6. She doesn't even know what coronavirus is. That's just like the go-to word. Like, anything in the world that looks different than it did before COVID is like, it's because of coronavirus.
Yep, the election infection. It's because of coronavirus.
Yeah,
that's going to be my term till November 3rd. The election infection.
I think it works. It's good. I think we should all. I think it's a great idea, actually, for everybody to mail in their votes. Right? It's like saying, "Here's all of my money. I'm going to trust you to deposit it into my bank account."
Into the correct bank account. No.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, no. If you can stand in line at Walmart, you can stand in line to vote. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. Because, they have, like, dead people that have ballots. They have cats that, I mean, come on. Like, it's not, they tamper with that shit, just like they tamper with everything. So, no, if I want to vote, I'll vote, and then I'll come home with coronavirus, and then I'll know that at least I voted.
You know what the funny thing is? I was telling 45, I am the sickest person in the world. You can ask him this. I'm not sick like demented, although I am slightly. But I get sick a lot because, I have a heart condition. I have definite problems, and I get sick a lot. And when I get sick very, very sick. I have not had COVID, and I touch everything. I'm a smoker. So I'm outside touching shit all the time. Like, how do I not have COVID yet?
Right.
I go to the grocery store, I walk out, I light a cigarette. How do I not have COVID yet?
Right.
But I don't. But I don't know. But I don't want to talk too much about COVID.
Yeah.
Because if I get too political, I get wired up, and then poor 45 has to deal with me for the rest of the night, and I go off. Like, I'll be like, no, really, you have to listen to this. Like, why have you not even? What do you mean you don't? And then it's just not fun for him. So
it's not pretty.
he doesn't. He's not political. So for him, he's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, see. All right, so I'm going to segue this into having friends of the opposite sex, because this is something we talk about all the time, 45 and I, because he's friends with you, and you message, and he messages you, right? So, no big deal. And my best friend has been my best friend for, I'm aging myself here, but 44 years he and I have been best friends.
Oh, wow.
44 years. And it's a guy. And will always be my best friend. How do you feel about having a friend of the opposite sex, like your husband? How would you feel?
Well, I think I can relate to your 44-year-old friendship with this male, because I actually I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, right? And I grew up in a cul-de-sac, and I had 2 friends that lived in the cul-de-sac. So when you're little, like, you hang around with the people who live near you.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a car to go anywhere. So they were cousins. One was a boy, one was a girl. And I'm still friends with them to this day. So now I can date myself. I met them when I was 5, so 33 years I've been friends with both of them. And, you know, the male, the boy, I mean, I think part of it is a friendship with age, too. Like, I think somebody like that in your life, at that point, I don't think it's, like, even a male-female thing. I think it's, like, somebody that just knows you that you can really connect with, you know?
Yeah.
When I met my husband, actually, we weren't married yet. We had just been dating for a couple of years. And this girl who, you know, he had went to high school with moved to the area we were living in. And he was like, yeah, I've known her since high school. She's a friend. And I was totally cool with it. Like, I didn't care. I'm like, cool. Like, it's like, if you're friends with her and you like her, then, like, she'll be my friend, too. Like, we could all hang out. Makes life easier. Because I feel like so many people that, like, sometimes when you meet later in life, like, if my husband brought somebody around or I did, and it's like the other person doesn't like them, you're like, I don't want to hang around with these people, you know? So I think if everybody can get along, it's like, who gives a shit if they're good people, right?
Right. Well, like, my BFF, I call him Scooby. And Scooby and I used to beat him up. Like, beat him up. Physically beat him up. I took his shoes.
So you beat up. So then you were wondering why your daughter punches people in the nose.
Really, I have no wonder why my daughter has any anger or rage issues. I pretty much know it. I grew up in the suburbs of the city too. I grew up just outside of Boston. You know, it was 15 minutes on the train, and I was in the city. So we grew up in. It was, I can't say small. We grew up, our graduating class was just under 400, just under 400, I think. But
yeah. It's legit. Because, like, if you grow up in that area, or if you grew up where I grew up, like, you legitimately have to be able to punch people in the nose in order to just...
Yeah, you have to be able to stand... And I'm a big person. I am not a small girl. So, like, for me, I defended myself on a regular basis. And you have to learn to either have a really good sense of humor, to be blatant, give really good head if you want to have a boyfriend. You do. You have to learn how to do these things, or let things.
It's part of life.
Let things roll off your back, or get walked on when you're not the typical cheerleader blonde type girl. Right. And that wasn't me. I wasn't that typical girl. I was wrenching on a motor, you know. I was driving a 68 Charger. I was in my flannel, you know what I mean? Right. So I had to learn to defend myself. And in a big city, you gotta learn it. You can't let people walk all over you, or else they'll walk all over you for the rest of your life. And I think that's something that my daughter had picked up, is she picked up the don't let people walk on you now, or you'll let people walk on you forever.
Forever, right? Yeah, you gotta set the precedent early, you know.
Oh, and she set her precedent. Yeah, I'm telling you, she set hers, and she's not scared of anyone, and she's not little, but she's 5'3". She's like my little mighty mite, you know. I'm proud of her.
Well, how does the saying go? It's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Right. Yeah. Right. You calling my daughter a dog? What are you saying over here, assistant?
Uh-oh.
No. My daughter's beautiful, FYI. Just throwing that out there. If you're listening, Snail, I know you're beautiful. That was just a shout out to her because I know she listens. So
nice.
She'll listen for like 5 minutes and get bored. You know, most kids. That's my mom. Yeah, she's mouthy. I'm going to change it now.
Which is why my kids won't be listening to this, because they have a mouthy mother as well.
I did put a warning on our page. Not suitable for children under 18 or adults that get their panties in a wad. I was like, I can't.
Right.
But, yeah. So anyway, that was the friends of the opposite sex thing. Yeah, you have to, when you grow up like that, and you find someone that you connect with. And he's friends with 45 now. Scooby's friends with 45 now, so he's like, they're like buddy. So it's like, oh, okay, they're fine. I don't have to worry about them. And he knows, like, I can go out on Scooby's motorcycle, and he knows I'm coming home to him, because Scooby's going to drive me crazy at one point, because we've been friends for so long, and...
Yeah. No, I mean, like, my friend I was telling you about that I've known forever, like, he came out to our wedding when we got married, and my husband was, like, so pumped about it, because he was like, this is somebody that, like, you grew up with, that you knew forever, that, like, you know what I mean? That's a good person. So
yeah, and they know everything about you.
Yeah, right. No, I think it's great. I mean, I think in terms of, like, friends of the opposite sex, I think the older you get in life, I think it may be tricky, but I think I would just be cautious. Like, if all of a sudden this, like, girl started coming around my husband and it wasn't, say, like, maybe work-related, because, like, where does he meet people? Like, it's not like he's hanging out at the bar, right? Like, he's at work.
Right.
So if some girl, like, and it wasn't work-related, because there are women that he works with, if it wasn't work-related, I'd be like, well, I definitely ask questions. I'd be like, well, how do you know her if she started coming around? But I think that's like a later in life thing, because you just have to wonder what people's intentions are, I guess, is my thing. Like,
that's the thing, is whether or not their intentions are good.
Yeah. And I think, like, I don't know, I have a pretty good read on people, so I feel like if I got a bad vibe, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna cut that one off. Sorry about that. You know?
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. But other than that, like, I think it just depends, you know.
Yeah, like 45 having a Karen, not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
No Karen, no perfume.
No Karen perfume coming home on 45. Because I'm telling you right now, them is fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not scared of much.
Yeah.
At all. But anyway, so I'm going to wrap things up. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today. We'll have to have you join us another day. Would you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was fun chatting with you guys, and it feels good to, like, actually have adult conversations since I've been doing this whole homeschool thing. I mean, once in a while you just gotta, like, get loose and say what you really mean and put it out on the map.
Yeah, well, just throw it out there for everyone in the world to hear on YouTube.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, assistant. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. So that was 45's assistant. She's super nice.
Yes, she is.
Super nice. Homeschooling kids, I couldn't even imagine. I'd want to pull my hair out. My children would want to pull their hair out if I had homeschooled them.
Yeah, they'd want to go back to school.
No, my kids would be like, please, Mommy, go to work. We don't want to see you all day, every day. They would have hated that. At any age, they would have hated that. So, we were talking about the whole opposite sex friendship thing. I wanted to bring up one little thing, because I always call him my BFF, right?
Right.
Does that bother you?
No.
Because you're like my best friend. Because you're my soulmate. You're my 45.
Oh, you've known them a long time.
Yeah. So, but I have terminology for all of my friends. Like, he's my BFF. He's always been my BFF. But then I have my bestie, who works with me. She's my bestie. And then I have my best friend, who rescues me when I'm passed out on a toilet at a drunken house party. And then I have my best fucking biatch, who we're gonna go see maybe and visit with her, Mama Brenda. Mama Rinda. I like calling her. It's weird calling her Mama Rinda because she's like younger than me. Only by like 6 months, but still. But anyway, we're gonna wrap things up and go through yet another period of non-talking.
I will see you next time.
Bye. I'm cool like Bob Saget.